What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Deep Dive Show. My name is Mokone. Our goal with the show is to bring you and I in proximity to the people and ideas that will show us that it is possible and it can be done, and eventually help us achieve on our dreams and on our goals. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special guest. This man has braved the unknown. This man has stood past the most grueling of circumstances and has come out as a winner and as a victor. Today he comes in to share his story. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the show. I'm so overwhelmed even as I'm saying this. Boipelo, Mokone, welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you so much, Mr. Matauriro. Yeah, like you said, my name is Boipelo Mokone. Yeah, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a hip-hop artist. I'm an education consultant. I'm a recovery coach.
Yes.
You name it, I put on a lot of hats.
For sure.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Sure. For sure. Actually, just me researching you, I found out that you have all of these. In fact, you did an amazing job, because I was going to ask you, introduce yourself to us.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was very curious on how you'd start and how you'd break them down. Right? And I like the way you put it.
Yeah.
Now, let's dive right into your story. Talk to us about growing up. Before we get to 1994 to 2014, talk to us about growing up. How was life? Who is Boipelo as a 6-year-old? Where are you going? Talk to us about that.
Wow, definitely. Boipelo, when he was growing up, when he was born in Gaborone and stayed most of his life in Old Naledi. That is where I spent most of my time.
You're a certified city boy.
Yeah, I'm a city boy. I'm a city boy, but I'm a blue blood. But the thing is, when I grew up in Old Naledi, yes, I went to preschool. I'm one of those young people, they had the opportunity of being taught by a white teacher.
Right.
I think that's where I got my brilliance and intelligence from, because in the 80s, it's in the 80s. That's when I was in preschool. I went to Terisanyo Primary School to do my standard 1 up to standard 7, and at age 6, I believe that I was that young person who liked music. Music in a way, meaning that as a Bakata tribe, you know what we are well known of, the choir, right? And that is what was actually happening in our extended family. There was a choir there called TN, and I don't know what TN meant even now. I don't know what it means, but it was called TN. And each and every weekend, people would convene at my grandma's place, because we were living in an extended family. And, there would always be that fun, choir starting from morning up to the other morning of another day, And, yes, I grew up without knowing my biological father. This is my father, he is called so-and-so. And, there were relatives, my uncle was there, but what was happening is, like in each and every township setup, my grandma's place was a shebeen. We were selling chibuku, bujalabasana, dibiri, cigarettes, and all that. But at that age, I don't think I had a hint of ever, becoming a user myself. That innocence that we have with us, the innocence that we carry with us, But at the end of the day, you'd find that as you grow or progress in life, you'd find that there's been so many potholes within your life that you never realized were there, because you were young and never understood anything.
For sure.
And that is why you find that at a young age, you'd have questions, but there's nobody who is readily available to answer those questions for you. So that is why at the end of the day, when we find ourselves in our adulthood, we have so many confusing questions that we have within us, but we can't even have a single answer to it.
Yeah. So when did you get into, what was the first ever interaction with drugs or anything like that?
Wow, do you know what? Interaction. I don't know how to put it because
No, actually not interaction because you grew up in Ishibin and all
yeah,
that. So that means you were interacting with all along.
Yeah, it
but
was
the
a
first
daily
time?
thing.
Do you remember the first time you ever took?
The first
and
time,
how old you were?
the first time I started, I think I started with a cigarette, craving a CA120, thin and long and classy. Yeah, with my guys, just experimenting. And a cigarette.
How old were you?
I think I was both 13, 14.
Okay.
But a cigarette is one of those things that will always drive you into using more harder drugs.
For sure.
Because a cigarette on its own is a drug, but it's legal. But it's the Pandora's box to those things that you are going to ingest, but you are not going to be readily available to do away with. That's drugs. I smoked, but nobody knew because we would be hiding what we are doing, right? But it hit hard when I was doing Form 2 while I was at my Junior Secondary School.
Kuji West.
Kuji West. I discovered that, wow, this guy can rap. Yeah. So,
you were the guy.
Yeah. So
you must have been a ladies' man, eh?
No, not really. But the ladies would love the man.
Yeah.
But the man was like, I was so shy and I was tiny and
you just focused on your music.
Yeah, I might say that. I might say that. Because at age 15, smoking, discovering myself as a music or rapper wannabe, wow, that was a great thing. But actually, I never saw it as like too much television watching got me chasing dreams. Yeah. I was dreaming dreams with my eyes closed. For a while, one day I'm going to be a rapper and look how they do it on TV. They're flashing money. Yeah. There are cars that are jumping up and down. Yeah. There are so many women in bikinis. I was painting, a canvas. I was painting my canvas with different brushes of different sizes and colors. But at the end of the day, that was a life of illusion. I was being redirected into something that was going to be very, very painful for me, to get out of. Because at that time,
Before we even go there.
Oh yeah, okay.
We're gonna pause here for a moment and we'll be back with Boipelo Mokone. Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Boipelo Mokone. So this is you in teenagehood.
Yeah.
You're the rapper.
Yeah.
You're the guy. Take us through that journey now. And what year is this, by the way?
The year is 1994. I was doing Form 2 years, and as I went on in that discovery of my musical prowess, I met other two guys, Teboho Victor Kaudi and Tiroyaone Marentwa, may his soul rest in peace.
Who are you listening to this
that time?
Who are your guys? DMX, who was it?
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Yeah.
Bobasta Rhymes but I know Twister. And, Bo Eminem, they never see you by then. I was going with guys like Bo Mystica, NWA. So those were the biggest influences in my rap life.
Okay. Okay.
And, after meeting these two guys in Old Naledi, they were older than me. We established or formulated our first musical group in Old Naledi called Able-Bodied Niggas. Yes, that's what we were calling ourselves.
Able-bodied niggas.
Yeah, but guess what? Guess what? We were playing Kwaito then.
Oh.
Hey, we were playing Kwaito. Hey, and from Kwaito, we went to hip-hop or rap, if I may call it. And imagine I was the youngest in the crew of 3.
You're the most impressionable.
And, I stood out. I stood out. The size, the age, the energy, I stood out. So, but the problem was, we showcased our musical prowess in places that I might say they were wrong for me at the time. The bars, the clubs, because now that's where adults convened.
And you were underage?
And I was underage, but I was let in because I was
with these guys.
With big guys and doing something on a platform created for that thing. But guess what? The people that are shouting, going crazy because they see this young boy rapping and dancing and doing all sorts of things, they never helped me to protect and develop that musicianship. Instead, they did what? They offered different things to me. You understand? And you know, I know how limelight, glitz, and glamour can be. You know, they simply shift you. They take you away from aligning with God. Because, yeah, we are firstborn in the spirit. And whatever that we take in harms first the spirit. A cigarette on its own, it kills you in the spirit. Alcohol kills you in the spirit. Ecstasy kills you in the spirit. And then, once the spirit is dead, that's when we are going to see now the casing withering the body.
For sure.
At 21 years, you look like you are 45 years.
Yeah. So, great point actually you made about the spirit. What was the first, what do you think is the drug that got you hooked first?
Wow, my drug of choice was ecstasy. Though I used cigarettes, then I graduated to using weed. Weed wasn't good for me looking at, my mental structure. I was young, very young, you know?
Yeah.
And weed used to make me fall asleep, get hungry, be moody. I didn't enjoy anything that came with the mood of having weed in me. It didn't make me happy or excited. Rather, I became cocooned within myself. I didn't like it. And then there came a time when we were, having a gig, Maitisong Festival, the first Maitisong Festival events. And then there was this guy from Nigeria. He always saw me at the club, Old Naledi, where I always rapped and did my music and stuff. That's when this guy offered me 2 tablets, white tablets, drawn a scorpion on them. You know, I didn't know what they were, but he was like, yay, rude boy. I was called rude boy by then. Rude boy, hey, Obana, when you are on stage, hey, you are wicked. But these ones can make you, blow sky high. But that's
that was the...
Yeah, that was not the real thing.
So you took drugs to enhance your performance, or you took drugs to numb pain, or you took, like, what was that?
With drugs, it differs per individual. And you'd think you are using it for something, and then it opens up something. You know, I was giving drugs at a musical performance like, yeah, this will make you to become the man. Huh? Yes, now, this is for music. And yes, I was the man. Because whenever I was on stage here, everybody felt me. They called me Rudede, the Ruda, Rude Boy, Rudy. I was like a demigod. This young man, has got what we need. But even though I had what they needed at the time, they never helped me to protect that. Because I started using ecstasy up to 2014. That's a 20-year gap that has been wasted in my life.
How frequent were you on it?
I was on it every day. I was the guy you'd love, and I was the guy you'd hate.
What does ecstasy do to you? I've heard about it, but I don't know how like, if you take it, what happens? Like, because a lot of people, I think, know about weed and all these other ones.
Ecstasy is a happiness drug. It's a drug that, you get it to be happy. Imagine...
It's like morphine.
Yeah. But it stands out. Because at times you'd be on stage, the same night. How possible is it if you are in your own pure form?
Yeah.
You know, right now I despise artists that are saying they are artists, but they are putting things to enhance their artistry. They don't know anything good about themselves, all right?
But doesn't the industry kind of force you to do that? Because even if you look at the dates, it's crazy. Because I'm
It's
looking at
very
the dates. The
crazy.
dates are like back to back to back to
Yeah,
back
you
to back.
ask yourself.
Like Friday, someone has like 3 gigs on Friday.
But
you have 4 on Saturday.
How
You have
possible
3
is
on
it?
Sunday.
How possible is it?
Maybe from Thursday, because I think also because that's also their source of income. Because I'm trying to understand how can an artist enjoy their music and also take care of themselves, because you have been there. You have to be on. Also because when you get on stage and you're not on, the crowd will feel it. They'll be like, no.
The crowd will feel, they are going to see.
Yes.
So imagine you are, like I was having ecstasy every day. Every morning I was taking 4 pills, 0.75 milligrams. That's suicide on its own. But I still wonder, even up to this time, why did God let that happen? For that tiny body to contain that, to run with that for 20 years. To run with that for 20 years. But yes, I did. So artists that are doing this, are full of depression. I'm still a music artist. I'm called G Word. G Word is God's word. I'm no longer rude boy. But yes, the truth will always be hidden under the carpet. I'm within an organization called Botswana Musicians Union. I am the chairperson in the Katlin district under Botswana Musicians Union. But one thing that I can tell you, okay, these musicians, by now, they are being booked all over. They are what. Even if they deny it, they are using drugs. You can't have back-to-back performances, no sleep, nothing. But how able do you do that? How can you do that?
I mean, you just said Mahalape to Francistown. Mahalape to Francistown is like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. And imagine you have just performed for 4 hours and then you have to know it. It's crazy.
It's very crazy.
But what's the antidote to that? Do you have to book less and just make less money? Like, what can they do now instead?
Do you know what? When you dream with your eyes closed, the devil will always show you visions, pictures, and write stories for you that are actually meaningless to you. Because he knows that once he takes you far away from God, you are going to let the worldly cares take care of you. You are going to put forward money instead of your healthy lifestyle or your welfare first. Right? Guess what? Why do music artists die mostly in road accidents? It's because of that. We take too much drugs and alcohol. We don't sleep. We are running after money because if we are booked in so many places at once, we are going to make much money and more money. But that's the life the devil wants us to get into. Because with money, we get away from God. Our God becomes money. You understand? And that is why most of the things that when they don't happen the way we want, with less money, I get depressed. I had a lot of money, but now I don't have any money. I get depressed. I tend to do what? Use more drugs. Go in too deep. Once you go in too deep, you are signing your death warrant.
Yeah.
You find people killing themselves for no apparent reason. There is a reason. It's only because you don't know the reason, because the reason has never been told to you by the person who's using. Imagine how many times I nearly killed myself. So many times. If there was that chance of somebody dying and coming back, I could have been the champion. Because of too much depression. It's always into two. You take drugs to feel happy, but they will open the Pandora's box of depression. You may take drugs to numb depression. And they do what?
They bring it twice.
Yeah, that's how it is. But with me, I became a young father because of that lifestyle, an absent young father for that matter. I felt like, if my dad could leave me at a young age, why can't I do the same? And that's where now we find this spirit here, what do they call it? Generational curse.
Yes.
Look,
yes.
man, it is God, it's Jesus Christ, and it's you as a man. It's you as a father. Now, we alter the DNA of God by letting our children to fend for themselves. You put a child into this world, then you live it. Who is going to take care of that child? This is not where the scriptures are working. You can't say because God is taking care of the birds and the bees, now he's going to take care of my kid.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's going to take care of that kid. But you are the master key into the life of that kid.
Negligence of duty. We're going to pause here for a break. We'll be back with Mr. Boipelo Mokone. Welcome back, everybody. We're here in the Deep Dive Show with Boipelo Mokone. If you've watched this episode up to this point, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you found any value in it, give us your biggest takeaway in the comment section and consider subscribing to the channel. Now, Mr. Mokone, I have a few questions here.
All right.
Random questions. This is rapid fire, everybody. Question number 1. What has been your favorite age thus far? Favorite age?
What has been my favorite age?
From 0 till the age you are today. What has been your favorite age?
Oh, my mid-20s. Because like I was fire. I was the road boy. I was the it guy. You know, I was plaiting my hair. I was putting on Nikes from shoes to, you know, I even had my own brand, Road Boy, where, you know, I was the it guy. I was a demigod. Everyone
was
here...
it the one with the eyes that were like this? Can I...
No, not that one. It was just a sign like a half moon and Road Boy wear here. On caps, jeans, and stuff like that. I was making money. But even though I didn't know where the money was going to, but I just made money.
Okay.
That was the time that I was cool, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac. Yeah.
All right.
Tupac.
Undoubtedly.
Tupac.
All right. Pretty interesting. I'll park it there.
Okay.
Maybe we'll talk about it further.
Yeah.
What dish do you cook best?
Wow. What dish do I cook best? Man, I'm not sure because, you know, I know how to do stew. That one, even at home, they'll tell you, hey, boys, but I cook food that cooks itself. Rice. Yeah, ikapa, right?
Hey. You don't have to do much.
I will do that. You'd wonder what kind of a recipe is this one.
Hey, what kind? Beef stew?
Beef stew, chicken, fish. I'm number 1.
That's your area?
I'm number 1.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, ba go bitsa go inventing.
They can call me. I'm number 1. Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What are you most looking forward to?
What am I mostly looking forward to at this time and age? You know, I want to leave a living legacy. Living legacy, I mean, right now I have a 3-year-old son, right? And at this age, he doesn't understand whether his father was in jail before. His father nearly died because of drugs. His father had his sisters and left them before. You know, he doesn't know that. But now I'm profiling each and everything. My poems, my music, any newspaper clip that has me on it, I put them there, right? Documentaries and stuff.
Yeah.
But once and for all is I want to have a rehabilitation center. Not named after me, but something that is going to be tangible if when I'm gone. Yeah. And my son would always be like, my father has been the pioneer of that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Last question on rapid fire. I'm asking this question, but I pretty much know the answer to it.
Okay.
Can you freestyle rap?
Yeah, man, I can.
Are you willing to give us a few lines?
Yeah, I can.
Are you willing to, what do you need? Do you need a beat or you can just do it on the fly, off the cuff?
You can do me a beat, you can do whatever, I can just...
All right, let's go. Maybe the beat will join you, but let's see how you go about it.
Okay. Yeah. You gotta be coming again with a ramen, you try me. You were the king, I wear the ramen to be looking funny. When we be coming to ramen, you better be so real. G word up again with the ramen, you got the jamboree. I'm coming up again with a finger upon the trigger to be just again with the stupidest nigga raping like me. G word again with the ramen, you won't stop me. Cause I'm coming up again with a big flow.
No way, no way. That was off the cuff.
Yeah, just that's the gift that God has given me.
No
Imagine, you know, the devil is so bad. He knows if I use this talent and gift to praise God, I'm going to be one of the powerhouses in the kingdom of glory. So that's why he decided to disrupt that during my teen years. So that hip hop gets me into drugs, drugs gets me into my grave. But because now I said, God, I re-establish my relationship with you. That's why I'm still doing music. But you can't see it in me. You can't see that I can rap, I can do what I was doing.
Yeah.
Unless if I do it. That's because God has bestowed that seed in me. I'm not pretending. But you can look around, you'd see these young people, caps aside, Segi, whatever. They are one day wonders, make it, tomorrow they are gone. I've done music since 1994. And guess what? There was no any other thing that I got through my musical prowess. Whether my music was playing on radio, there was nothing. But once I said, God, I re-established my relationship with you, there was a time when my song got #1 the whole week, Duma FM, alone, because I do my music alone. You understand? It's because of God, true alignment with God.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I want us to come here now, because I don't want us to spend a lot of time in the past.
Yeah.
You know, you are a man that has recovered. Yeah. I want you to walk us through, document your journey of recovery.
Okay.
Where was that point where you're like, okay, enough is enough? I need to put this aside. Obviously, you have probably had many of those points.
There's been so
But you're
many.
like, you know, because you can see that you're losing it all. You're losing people. You're having a son. You can't take care of the son. You went to jail. Actually, before we even get there, talk to us about the fingerprints and your story of going to the president, and then we can get into your journey of recovery. I think that's very strong.
You know, there was a time we were just having fun, guys and girls. And actually we had a crew, we were calling ourselves Boys in the Hood. So we drank. I was popping my pills and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I was told that I had raped somebody. Like rape. You understand? And I was 19. Imagine 1997, I was finishing my Form 5. And even in that Form 5, my certificate right now carries only 3 subjects.
You only wrote 3?
I ever wrote. Only 3. 1998, others are going for Tirlos Chaba. I am taken where? Gaborone Central Maximum Prison. I was the youngest inmate at 19 years of age. And when I got there, cell 12 and cell 13, each and every man inside the prison was different, one man from the other. Not because of age, color, size, or whatever, but because of tattoos. You know, tattoos are a silent communicator. And tattoos are spiritual. But people don't know. They take them as fashion statements. In jail, they are a communicator. What about in the society? Even in the society, in the community, they communicate too.
So was it clicks in jail?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first tattoo that I had to do was the scorpion. The scorpion that was inscribed on the ecstasy tablets that I was taking. I call that the stinger. You can see the attachment that I had with my drug of choice. Number 2, I have a butterfly here. The butterfly, you know, signifies the feeling that I had. You'd ask me, rude boy, how do you feel? I'll answer you like, I feel like I'm floating like a butterfly. The tranquility, the peace, and the liberty. After taking my drug, you know, I would be at peace within myself. And the dragon, the fire-spitting dragon on my chest, is the anger, the hatred that I had towards women because of that one woman that said I raped her. But it was not, it's perjury. There was nothing like that. And the person that makes sure that you rot in jail due to rape is the doctor. You know, you are being... Was there anything like that? Any sort of fighting, whether resistance or anything, but there was nothing like that. And imagine I was there for 6 to 7 months, if I recall well. Because yes, I got out 22nd December the same year. And guess what? I went in too deep again into drugs. You know, every time when I was in jail, I felt like, no, I just have to kill women. I was turning into a psychopath. You understand? But because God is always there, first seek the kingdom of God. You understand? And in my own words, you are going to understand yourself better. After understanding the principles, the statutes and laws of the kingdom of God, you are going to understand yourself better.
Yes.
Not through introspection, but through what the word is telling you. And once you have the belief in that word, you know, man, you are going to be that powerhouse. Because everything around you, you are going to look at it from a different kind of an angle. You are going to have a paradigm shift of how you address things, how you address issues, how you even act on issues. That's when I was like, hey, am I really pretty sure that I'm going to kill women? Even though while I was in prison, I was writing. Actually. Imagine something that you write can't easily escape.
Your mind.
Your mind. It can't. I was visualizing how I was going to do it.
So getting yourself out of this and taking the letter to the president, how did that idea come through?
Do you know what? I was actually in an interview, Go DTCB, I think it was in 2013. And do you know what? I passed the interview. And Honaha DTCB, there's a mini police station. Mind you, in 1998, I was fingerprinted.
Yes.
But I get 1998, 2013. Can I be like how fingerprint to win case they are thrown away? It's a lie. There's nothing like that. They are just kept in the government database, okay? You
in case you mess up.
You just die and leave your fingerprints, okay? So I've passed the interview. We go into that little police station, the mini police station. I could see on the table.
What is the interview?
I was to be employed.
Okay.
By DTCB.
Okay.
But then there is what is called screening, right?
Yes.
They want to find out whether you've had friction with the law before.
Yes.
And guess what comes out? That same case. They acknowledged it. Yes, you won the case. There was nothing. But only because you've been fingerprinted, there's a problem there. So I had to go to the Botswana Police Bureau. They told me, no, for you to be cleared of that, you go to office of the president. I went to office of the president. So when I got there, I was given a form that was dictating of what was needed. Imagine, one, I had to write a letter, okay, telling the president that I'm sorry, pardon me because I was a rapist and everything. Now I have to admit to some things that I never did, okay? And there has to be a letter.
The letter was making you admit to things you didn't do in order for you to be exonerated.
Yeah. And then there should be a letter from a priest or a pastor. But when I look at it, which church was I going to? Which pastor knew me? Nobody. It was one stumbling block that was on my way. Number two, a counselor, like a politician. And imagine my counselor, I had to become a puppy now. Go to the dog. Please write me a letter that I'm a good person. How possible was it? It was still impossible. I had to have a letter from the chief. But guess what? There was a time when I nearly killed my family. And that day, and this day, I have to have a letter from that same person. Which goodness am I trying to talk about? And which goodness is he going to write about? And the other one was to have a letter from the member of parliament of my area. I didn't know the member of parliament of my area. Why did I have to care about it? So all these things, they were communicating to me. Like, do you know what? You can be whatever you want to be. You can be whatever you want to be. But once you are fingerprinted, no matter how brilliant, gifted, intelligent, or whatever that you are, they are going to destroy you in the future. You open a door of opportunity, what rushes in first is your fingerprints.
The past.
The past. It haunts you.
Let's go to your recovery now. How were you able to set yourself? What was that point where, because I think a lot of people, I also think even in our time and day nowadays, there's so much of abuse, substance abuse, drugs, And also, I think Mokone, there's so many, maybe it's because this is when I'm getting to this age.
Yeah.
But there's so much of monati, of partying, I've gone to parties and everything and all that, but it's just on another level, right? And I think a lot of us are digging ourselves deep because we can't differentiate between, having fun in our youth and destroying our future. What was that? Walk us through the process of recovery. Like, how did you get to this? Because so many people are struggling with so many addictions.
Yeah. Do you know what? Mine is very extraordinary. It's because of God's intervention. It's very extraordinary. You know what? People that are on drugs, they are gifted, very intelligent. And imagine you are a counselor, you are on that side of the desk, and I am on this side of the desk. You want to tell me hearsay, you want to tell me stories of other people. You don't understand this man. Do you think you're going to be able to help me? I have all the answers to my problem. You don't have. But you want me to give you the answers that I have. But I see that you don't even know what you are trying to address. Are you going to be able to help me? No. That is why we keep on falling and standing back up and leaving you only a program, whatever, or a counselor, only because you don't really understand what's going on.
Yes.
But a person that has been there before, they are going to take their life, the past and the present and the future, put it in front of you. And they tell you, find yourself within this life. And at that present moment, you are living that life. You find yourself in that life. And you are bound to make a change. You are bound to introspect. And one thing for sure is, if there is that counseling that can make a difference, change and transformation, it's counseling that is, has got its fundamental foundations on God. You counsel me, then from there, where are you taking me? I'm not talking about physical environments or whatever, because addiction is mental. And mental, we are talking about spirituality again. From then, where are you taking me? Help me to repent. Help me to understand my right standing with God. Help me to have the change and transformation now, knowing exactly that the path that I'm going to follow is going to be the path that transforms me on a daily. The change of the mindset. It says they are renewed every morning. The minds. You understand? That's what the Gospels are telling us. Be a counselor that takes me from that place to this place or that place, whereby now I understand things better. I didn't become a recovery coach by coincidence. I lived that. I've been there before. I fell so many times. I nearly killed myself so many times because I know that, oh God, alone I tried, but I failed. But I need your intervention. Do you know when was this? 2014, my 20th year on substance abuse. You understand? And when I ran to a certain church, trying to find myself in church, to understand myself better in church, I just saw that It's not like all these people were accommodating. Imagine I'm beaten by the world. I'm so thin. I'm not that person that you are going to like. But the eyes would be piercing me when I get inside the church. But one thing inside of me was like, you know the reason why you are stepping into this place. I never let those many piercing eyes to penetrate through me. Because one thing for sure is once you are in drugs, you build an invisible world around yourself.
So the framework you took was you came and you sat down with yourself and you mended your relationship with God.
Yeah.
So what was day one for you? Where you're saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I want you to give us...
Day one, let me jump all these other stages. Day one, I met a girl there in church who cared about me. Not in a relationship of some sort, but because I believe she saw that, do you know what? There is something within this guy. She would send me scriptures, whatever. But at the end of the day, I felt like, no, this is not working for me. Because on Friday, I would go and drink. Saturday, I would go and drink. Sunday, I would be in church. It was not working for me. But she was hesitant. She was helping me, but I just didn't like that. But one day, I heard a voice, right? It was just telling me that, do you know what? You need to get out of this place and its people and just go and find yourself within me. Find myself within me. But actually, the voice was not talking about me. It was talking about itself. That's when in 2015, 5th of November, me and that girl that I found in church and some other friends, we walked from Gaborone to Francistown. It was a prayer walk. That was day one.
You walked?
Gaborone, Francistown, 5th November 2015. That was day one. You know, even the people that were helping us, emergency medical services, they were so shocked because I would get these withdrawal symptoms. It's so shocking. I'd literally get sick because the body wanted what it's used to. The mind wanted. Imagine the anger and the aggression. But I said, God, I am going to endure the pain. That was day one. I would sweat. I would be nauseous. I would have convulsions. I would have muscle spasms. They would tell me, guys, go back. But I would tell them, guys, I know the reason why I am doing this. We walked. And when I came back, I became out a different man. And 2016, me and the girl that I met at church, we registered an organization called Youth of Hope Safe Haven Organization. 2017, we walked Gaborone, Francistown again. I was trying to find it in me whether it was me or it was another higher power. We walked. And in that 2017, I proposed to that girl. 2018, I married her.
Yes, sir.
The same year, I cycled from Katlen district in Muchudi to other places, Boloba, Tseramotswa and stuff. Still trying to find myself. And I just saw that this retelling and telling of my testimony, my life story, it was part of the healing process to me again. There is fulfillment in it. There is healing in it. There is correction in it. There is alignment in it, guidance and direction in it. And last month, 29th of September, that was my 8th year clean from drugs and alcohol. And yes, 4 years in marriage right now. And I'm still counting that, do you know what? There is a time that I'm going to celebrate my sobriety and my cleanliness. And that time I would want to have all the people that I've helped to be a part of that so that we celebrate each other. Just like, we can celebrate each other. Why? And we can even brag of, hey, we can even brag about it. Now, I would want to have people that are going to brag about Mun. 5. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
And ever since that time, I've never looked back. I've never turned back. I decided now to help young people in schools because that is where too much drug is being used.
Salute.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to get into that as my last question. Oh, yeah. Before I ask my last question, in fact, talk to us about the work at SOAR.
Oh, yeah. At SOAR Institute Recovery Homes, we are a rehabilitation center, both inpatient and outpatient. Yes, and I am there as a recovery coach. A recovery coach simply meaning that I help other people who are in a similar situation like the one that I was in to find their path to recovery, to help them maintain their recovery process and journey, to help them have that self-introspection within the recovery environment. Because I see that most of the time we talk about addiction. We just talk about the negative. What about the positive?
Yes.
Let's try and encourage people to find their recovery shoes. Positivity for once. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's my work at SOAR Institute.
Beautiful.
Recovery Homes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I hope they actually got that. I hope they got that so that they make sure they get in contact with you.
Definitely.
They make sure they get in contact with you. My last question for you, sir, how do you want to be remembered as Boipelo Mokone?
Wow. Imagine when the chapter is closed. How do we remember him? Okay, Boipelo Mokone should be remembered as a person that, brought change and transformation into the lives of other people through his testimony, okay? And now because I'm working on my book, it's called To Hell and Back to Tell. I would like people to read that book, that I've been in hell before, and the hell can be for everybody, but we should always know how to get out of that hell and be back to tell our stories.
When can we expect the book?
I think maybe next year, 2023. Yeah, the book will be done, finished, polished, and
Beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. So because I really want to leave a living legacy, like I've said before, I want to have a rehabilitation that even when I'm gone, somebody would be like, there has been a pioneer who brought that thing up, and his name is Boipelo Mokone. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Definitely.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Boipelo Mokone. You've just heard his story. We've just dived into it. There's so much to him. We've just literally just touched the tip of the iceberg. Definitely dive into his world. We'll have all the links below. His book is coming out next year. Look out for that. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, if you've found any value in this episode, definitely drop a like. Leave your biggest takeaway in the comment section, and definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, we'll meet same time, same place next week. Be great.